Yeah, I think I've taken a conscious decision to try and, especially if I'm opening the batting, put the bowlers under pressure. I've always sort of, in the last few years, been looked at as that, I suppose I did it today to an extent, as that guy who bats through, and I've got the game, I feel, to really do what some of the other guys around the world is doing regarding hitting boundaries, especially up front. So, yeah, against spin, I've worked hard on boundary options. I feel that's also come a long way. Playing in the T10 leagues has helped me a lot with that. But yeah, it was a conscious decision. I'm going into my latter years now. Faf is inspiring me, but yeah, even he's saying he's always adapting and trying to renew his game and so forth. So yeah, pretty much similar for me.
And then if I can just ask you, I mean, last year would have been a little bit difficult with being left out of the T20 World Cup squad, for example. But you seem to have found like a new life with leagues. Can you just talk through what that was like? You're in good form, but maybe not always getting picked.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it was a tough one. I had a great year in T20 cricket leading up to that World Cup especially. I've always said, I've never said I should have been there in place of anyone. I just felt like it was a tough one. In the 15-man squad, always with ICC events, if there's only 15 guys, some guys are going to miss out that you feel deserve it. And yeah, so it was tough, but I mean, it is what it is. It's sport. The guys that did really well and made us proud, but that opened some opportunities for me to go to leagues and going into, like I said, the latter half of my career, my latter parts. That's something I'll look to do for a few years and see where I go. My first priority always has been to play for the Proteas. So what I don't know is when that stops, how long I'll keep playing leagues. I'm not sure. But yeah, at this stage, I'm really not thinking about anything else than just enjoying my cricket. So we've got a great team at MI Cape Town. I really love playing for the Lions domestically. Yeah, how I'm feeling now is not looking too far ahead and just enjoying my time and trying to put in performances.
Rassie, you had quite a tussle with Boland Park tonight, and I think you came off the better from that. Can you just tell us what you think of him and explain that sometimes being 18 isn't everything there is to be?
Yeah, he's obviously world class already. I think he's got a long way to go. He's got the raw product. Obviously, the pace, left arm is always a thing. He's got good change-ups, a really good bouncer. He almost cleaned me up with that the other day at Newland. So the challenge for him is going to be not to believe the hype that's made about him too much and follow the normal road as a professional cricketer, where you come into leagues and come into the national team and you still got to perform. It doesn't matter if you're 18, because reality is out there. Nobody cares that he's 18. They're gonna treat him as an equal. So I think he's come on leaps and bounds in the last year. He's a good kid. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got guys like Alan Donald and Hash at the Lions, Russell Domingo. So he's got really strong influences there, and the way he's going, yeah, he's gonna have a huge future.
Rassie, you obviously then throughout the innings, just what do you make of conditions and that score that you put up?
Yeah, I thought our score was probably par. It was really tough. The wind was a factor. That I've never had the wind so obvious part of conditions year before. It basically just took out one boundary. So you felt you couldn't really have a look at that boundary against it. So they took a gamble of expecting it to become better under lights, which it did. It was a used pitch. So the normal thing to do here always is to bat first and try and get a score, and then it gets slow and slow towards the end. But the lights obviously played a role tonight. It came on. Speaking to some of the guys, it came on quite nicely under the lights. So probably a par score. We were probably about 10 short than where we wanted to be, but I think we were just not on it with the ball tonight, and obviously in the field chances. If a guy like Luandre gives you chances, you got to take it. Otherwise, he's going to make you pay.
Rassie, I'd just like to know. This is obviously you've been with the MI Cape Town team for quite a while. I know it's still early in the tournament, but I feel a few things are different this season. Getting a few wins early on, even though you didn't get to Nige, pushing until the last over. What do you think has been the different thing in this side from a previous years and last to this year, where we can definitely see a massive improvement?
Yeah, definitely. I think you're spot on. It feels different in the squad. There's a different vibe. I think I've said it before, but when you do so badly, you learn what not to do. So we really took those lessons of the first 2 years to heart in terms of a communication, a leadership. It's always tough for an overseas captain coming in, but we made a conscious decision, myself, Colin, KG, Dane Pitt, some of the senior players, to say, listen, we're going to assist this guy as much as we can, help him out on the field. He was obviously captain 2 years ago. He didn't know anyone in the team really, didn't know conditions. And sort of that first year of a team, it's just guys thrown together and you expect them to play. And we obviously didn't manage that quite well at all. So this year, before we started the first match, that was a really clear plan of ours to get the communication better, to help Rash out, and just be a lot better in actually all aspects than we were in the last 2 years.
Rassie, obviously this tournament this season has been obviously very great for the youngsters coming through the system. A lot of them have stepped up in this tournament. So does that excite you? You young, fresh talent coming through and stepping up in a tournament like this?
Geez, it's great. As a senior player, it pushes you to never be complacent, but also it shows you the talent we have in our system coming through. I know there's a lot of people, especially from outside our borders, very critical of our system and the way our CSA handles it. But it shows you the best players will always come through. It doesn't matter what age they are. There's guys, a guy like last year, a guy like Thomas Carver, it's probably looking at it, he might not get a lot of game time, but he's 30 years old. He came onto the scene last year. This league just produces guys, and it's not just the 18-year-old. Obviously, there's the obvious guys, Ngaba Peter, Luandre, and Quena. We got Tristan Lee, a guy with genuine pace. He might get some game time. It's just great to see. Obviously, something is working, and I think you got to give credit where credit is due. We're still producing world-class cricketers.
Can you do one last question?
Rassie, I just want to ask you about that shot early in your innings from Quinn. It looked like you were shaping up to ramp him, and then you kind of changed your mind, and then it still went for 6. Can you just explain kind of what happened there?
Yeah, to be honest, I thought he would bowl it straight. So I was looking to. The wind was so strong coming into your face, so it was never really an option. I hit him for a 4 the previous, which I mean, 9 times out of 10 that will go for 6 because I hit it nicely. It's a full toss, I hit it nicely. But so, yeah, it was just never an option. I thought he was going to be on the stumps, but the key in those types of things is, or when you're lapping a guy that's bowling at pace, you just got to be willing to take it on the body if you miss it. So keep your head still. Sometimes you get too far inside the line. And he obviously saw me when pushed it wide, and I just had to get a bat, and he saw how far it went. Just the energy on the ball and the wind, the combination of those two. So it's always nice when those come off. It's obviously a large risk going out, but also physical pain. So it's nice when you see it go like that.